Oh, it look. It did. It showed up. No, it's low. So it still works. I've had this thing for like a couple years. So it still works though. Awesome. Hi, I'm Courtney with a K. Welcome back to my channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you're new, please take a moment to look around. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for post notifications. In this video, I am going to be describing to you guys the items I use to assist us in getting pregnant. In a previous video, I detailed from start to finish our trying to conceive journey. And if you missed that, I will link that video in the description below. I also had a Q&A type format where I went into detail and I answered a few questions that are more specific questions about our trying to conceive journey. If you're interested in that video, I will also link that video in the description too. First, most important tool that we used is the Femometer fertility tracking app. This app was actually recommended to me by a cousin, and she used it and had success with getting pregnant. So she pushed it right along to me around the time that I had actually shared our story about our struggle in trying to conceive, and I immediately downloaded the app and started using it. With this app, I was able to track my cycle from month to month. After syncing with your cycle after a couple of months, it'll start to predict that ovulation window. And your ovulation window are the most fertile days, or the days that you're more likely to get pregnant within your cycle. And it'll also predict your ovulation day, the day that it feels that your body is actually going to release an egg. The app also has a wide variety of other features. It allows you to list things on the calendar to show the days that you actually had sex and the time that you had sex. It also allows you to track your LH levels, which I will get into if you're using the ovulation kit, which is one of the items that I used. And when you pee on that, it'll let you know what your LH levels are. It allows you to track those as well inside of this app. So the app is like a one-stop shop. You can track your LH, you can track any body symptoms that you're having. You can track your basal temperature, which is also the third item that we'll be discussing. You can track all of that, all of those things inside of this app and keep it logged so that you can have more of a consistent pattern. And the more that you put inside of the app, the better it gets at predicting, your ovulation window and providing you that ovulation day so that you can get pregnant. The thing that I love most about this app, it tells you what your cycle date was. And if you watched the previous video, you know that I was actually going to my doctor every day 21 for my progesterone level check. It automatically counted my cycle dates for me so that I didn't have to keep up with it. Because imagine like having to go back every day and count up the days up until 21. Having to count that up ended up becoming very annoying. So this app takes that away, and then I can immediately see what day I need to schedule an appointment to go in to have my progesterone level checked. It tells you, a variety of tips to assist you in getting pregnant. So it's extremely helpful, and I feel that you should download it. I will link the actual app for Apple as well as Android devices, I will make sure that I link the app down below so that you guys can immediately get on that and start using the app today. All right, so the second tool that I used were these. These are the Clearblue Advanced Ovulation Test. This is what you need. You need this in your life, okay? This has 20 tests, and it comes with 20 of the little sticks that you pee on this part, of course. And I'll open one so you can see it. And the reader, you stick it in here, okay? It has the little screen, and the screen is what tells you, like, it'll have like a smiley face, it'll be a clear circle and things like that. I'll go more into detail, but the screen will show you when what your dates are, like whether or not it's a low fertility day or if it's a high, or if it's like, oh, this is ovulation week. And so it moves between those. So the directions are in the box and they tell you how to use it, but you pretty much open one of these and you would pee on it, your first pee that morning, the week that you're ovulating. So pretty much all of these things work together. Your Femometer fertility tracking app is going to tell you when it thinks that you're ovulating. And I only use these because they're so valuable. I only use these the week that the app is telling me that I am ovulating. And that's really to check to see if the app is accurate. So everything works together. Okay, so everything works together. I'm not just peeing on these things every day of the month. No. Only when the app says that I am in my ovulation window, when I'm in that fertility week, and that week actually shows up blue. Okay, so whenever I'm in that week, that's when I start using these. And that's just to confirm whether or not the app is predicting right according to my cycle. Okay, and so we use these, you pee on it, and then you insert it into here. And well, you insert it first, and then it goes like that. It does that little thing. See? Yeah. And then it lets you know that it's ready for you to pee once it stops blinking and it's like that. And then you remove this cap, and then you pee on this little part. And then when you pee on it, it's gonna give you a reading. So I'm not gonna pee on it, but we're gonna put some water on it real quick. Okay, so we got a bottle of water. Okay, so this should definitely show that nobody is nobody's ovulating because this is water. All right. So then you allow it to sit for a while, and you like let it sit leveled, and then it'll give you a reading. So we're going to come back to that. That, you know, if it comes up like this, that means that is low. This is high, and notice that this is going to blink. When it's just sitting there like a static smiley face, that is when it's predicting like your peak. Like this is probably ovulation day. And then that's when you immediately find your husband and you have sex. Like right then. It's like, I'm joking. But you need to do it quickly while that's there, you know, while it's on stay. So it's blinking now. So it's letting us know that it's reading. So we're going to let it sit and let it do its thing. What also helps, because I told you guys that everything works together, is your basal thermometer. This is a basal thermometer, okay? And pretty much what makes this different from your normal thermometer is that it reads 2 places after the decimal, and that's what's important, because you need to be able to see your temperature raise. If your temperature goes up, more than likely you are ovulating, and sometimes your temperature will go up just by that 100th place, just by that spot, and you need to know that. I would track my temperature inside of the app, and there's a little line graph, and it'll show me like when it's going up. When it's at its highest, that's ovulation. This is a really good one. I'm gonna actually place it here so that you can see it, but then I'm also going to link it below. I think the only downside with this is that it would take forever. I mean, literally forever for it to read. Like, I had it on my nightstand. As soon as I would wake up, I would stick it under my tongue, because that's like the best place to stick it. I would stick it under my tongue, and I would close my mouth. Like, I don't even get out of bed. You're not supposed to get out of bed. I literally just reach for it on my nightstand, get it, uncover it out of the case, put it in there, turn it on, and let it sit there. And sometimes I would be sitting there for a while. So I think that's the only con about using this one. Maybe you can find a better one, but this is from Target, and it was affordable. It was a reasonably priced one, so I just kind of went with it. But you stick it there, you allow it to get your temperature, and then it will beep eventually. So if you do get this one and it takes a long time and you're thinking that it's not working, it is working. Do not get up out of the bed or anything like that, because that kind of elevates your temperature and things like that. It'll mess up your reading, and you want to make sure that you get as accurate of a reading as possible, because again, everything works together. What you get on here lets you know when you need to pee on a stick, and all of that, putting that information into the app will help you determine when you're actually ovulating. So it'll increase the chances of you getting pregnant. So yeah, this is just still blinking. So I don't even think that this works, but you get the gist. Again, there are instructions in there. It'll give you the more rundown. As far as your basal temperature, you can look that up as well, but I did give you a rundown. Make sure that you do not get up when you're checking your temperature. You want to take your temperature as soon as you open your eyes. You do not want to get out of bed. Place it under your tongue, allow it to beep, and you want to write down those numbers. You want to keep them somewhere. Where the best thing is to log everything into the app. It's going to create that line graph for you to kind of gauge when it's going up. It's going to let you know when it's going up. And during those times, during that entire week, you need to be having sex. I mean, have sex as often as you can within that fertility window. Because another thing that I did not know prior to trying to conceive is that, sperm has, a certain amount of days that it lives. So even if you do not have sex the day that you are ovulating, if you've had sex in previous days, it will work. From my understanding and from my knowledge, don't quote me on this. This is what I got from all of my research that I was doing during that process. But male sperm, like the X sperm, if I'm saying that right, the sperm that will give you a boy moves faster than the girl sperm, but the girl sperm outlasts, like they live longer than the male sperm. So I don't know, ultimately, whether you have a girl or a boy, that's going to be up to God. But, just a heads up, you probably want to have sex earlier in the week so that you can get there. But also make sure too, just make sure, even though your app is going to say that you're ovulating on, May 7th, make sure that you still test and you still check your temperature days after that. I did it probably 4 days out of the day that it predicted, just to make sure that we didn't miss that ovulation day, and we didn't miss it. So I would continue to check, and I would check on the stick every morning with my morning pee until it showed up as this way. When it showed back up like this, then I knew that, okay, so the window is closed, and then, go from there and just kind of like play the waiting game to see whether or not we're pregnant. And if not, then we just keep going. These things and the app, they all assisted us in getting pregnant. They give you more insight and more, look, it did. It showed up. No, it's low. So it still works. I've had this thing for a couple of years. So it still works though. Awesome. But, easily distracted. Just make sure that you are, doing this. This kind of gives, helps you track your ovulation, because that is your most fertile days. That's when you're more likely to get pregnant if you have sex within that ovulation window. I was going to say fertility window. I hope that this information is helpful. Again, I will link everything that I have. I will link it down in the video description so that you can download the app, so that you can get the test kits, so that you can get the thermometer. If you have any other questions in regards to trying to conceive, advice, or any other recommendations, I have pretty much shared as much as I know. But sometimes you really don't think of everything until a question is asked, and then that question will kind of help me remember something that I may be overlooking. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment box or contact me by commenting, and I can see if we can connect so that I can answer any questions you have. I am more than willing to assist in any way that I could possibly assist. Telling you about my experience with the HSG, my experience with laparoscopic surgery, whatever. However I can help, I'm more than willing to help. I pray you well, adding my faith to yours that, soon and very soon you will be holding your little miracle, and this all will be behind us. So again, thank you for watching. Make sure that you like this video, as well as comment below any other questions you have, or any advice for other moms that are trying to conceive, any tips or tools, things that you may have used on your journey. That is extremely helpful for moms. So drop that below. And as always, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell for post notifications. Until next time, I want you to take care of you. Bye.